Hello, I'm Liz Lumley of Finextra, and today I'm speaking to FB of EPAM, and we're going to talk about data. The sort of customer analytical data is a big topic in a lot of industries. And I talked to a lot of people at banks, and they mentioned that banks have access to really valuable customer data, like over and above what the likes of Google have, because it's what type of money, how much money we earn, where we spend it, how we spend it. But in my mind, while banks have access to this type of extremely valuable data, they seem to have a lot of trouble using it effectively. Why do you think banks are having such trouble dealing and using and managing this type of data in the best possible way?
There's two ways to answer that. It's not technology capability. It's more that they're not asking the right questions yet, from one end. The other aspect is that I'm not sure that we are ready as a society for somebody to use that data for us. There can be consequences. So the way to look at it is someone needs to come up with business cases to use the data in a way that it's really helping the end user and not taking advantage of the end user. You can create really interesting cases. So you can create a case where, based on your population, your user population spending, you do aggregations across your population. In the UK, you can buy. You take a bank, the bank analyzes user spending, and they buy, let's say, heating oil up front. They're using their commodities group, they buy the heating oil, and they provide preferential pricing or even financing models to their customers. Is it legal? Where's the boundary? Or you comparing buying patterns of different parts of your population, or offering advice. So I think the first step, what you're going to see, is innovative applications going to compare your spending habits or your portfolio with comparable populations. You are spending this much on luxury goods. According to our data, if you in your spending category or in your age profile, people spend this much on luxury goods. So you can do this kind of comparisons, which is helping the end user to make better choices or make better decisions. But still, in this scenario, you are increasing your customer loyalty and not yet providing benefits to them, and not yet providing, you're not creating additional value for a bank. To create additional value, you need to really act on the data, what you see. And that's where it becomes really complicated.
But do you think banks are really missing out on using a lot of this data to maybe help their, not necessarily their consumer clients, but their merchant clients, maybe helping with sort of loyalty schemes with wallets, or maybe age verification on transactions? Do you think banks are missing out on a revenue stream by not using this data in this type of service?
They do, but what I feel is that how much value you can associate with it. Deploying a loyalty systems, which is, if you take airlines or travel companies, it could be a very complicated scheme and very expensive one. Can you actually justify to create those loyalty systems? And do you want to create the loyalty system in such a way? Because today you can get credit cards where you spend $1 or £1 and you get 1 mile with an airline. Is this what people really want to get? Or the type of loyalty systems which exist in the US for credit card companies, get 5% cash back on your spending. This is a loyalty system. But it's not really taking advantage of the data itself. Because in order to take advantage of the data, you need to understand what I'm going to buy to give me something which I want to get. So by knowing my spending habits, which is, you have it because you have my credit card data, you have my accounts, you have how much salary I get. Based on that, I can come up with product offerings which I would likely to buy it, which is very similar to a group purchasing scenarios, but can be very targeted down to the individual itself. By segmenting your user population, you can offer it as a marketing data to retailers who can target the end user or the merchant itself to sell something or buy something.
So I found it interesting, you mentioned saying that you thought that technology was not the barrier for this. It was legality and regulations, yes, and also sort of what customer demand and culture. Yes. Do you agree with that?
Yes. I mean, a simple example, which is from everyday life. If you're traveling a lot or you have you may be maintaining a summer home in another country, why do you need to really open another bank account? Why you can't just use the same bank account and transfer money from your original account? Why do you need to open an account in Spain to pay your utility bills? We have SEPA, we have everything. Why you cannot do that? But still, you cannot accomplish this. You can run into very easily scenarios that due to regulatory requirements and borders, you need to move assets across the border. It becomes very complicated, even inside the EU. So clearly there is boundaries today in the regulations which is stopping you or stopping banks to take advantage fully across on the data. Mm-hmm. And also there is a problem in the society that we are really afraid of Big Brother. And whenever you start seeing the signs of somebody acting like a Big Brother, all kinds of warnings are coming up. And I'm sure you would be super alarmed if, based on your spending, which is not happened, let's say, in the traditional channels, not online, you will start receiving marketing mails in spams in your mailbox because, based on your spending habit, they figured out that you are interested in a certain type of shoes.
You get that anyway, though.
You get that anyway, but I think right now the connection is not as tight yet. Mm. But once your spending habit is really well analyzed, then you can really take advantage of it.
Excellent. That's great. Thank you very much.